There was a guy named Andy Anderson in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, just across the river from Petal, and he was a big Coach Bryant and Alabama fan, and he kind of indoctrinated me when I was a freshman and sophomore about Alabama and about Coach Bryant. But as it turned out, make a long story short, Alabama is the only one that asked me to visit, and Alabama is the only one that offered me a scholarship, but Alabama's where I wanted to go. And I figured if I could play for Coach Bryant and we would win, and I know I could do it. You know, I just thanks to Andy and his indoctrination of for me about Coach Bryant and the university. Dude Hennessy came over to watch me play in a game against Lumberton, a school that was south of us, and he came over, and I think he still denies this to today, but he came over to watch the fullback from the other team, and I played fullback in high school, and I had such a great game that after the game, he didn't even go to the other locker room. He came over to my locker room and offered me a scholarship, and I think, if I remember correctly, I told him, I said, Coach Hennessy, with all due respect, I'd like to hear that from Coach Bryant. You know, it was so good to be true, you know, for me, that I wanted to hear it from the horse's mouth, you know. It was a little intimidating, I'll have to admit. I met Coach Bryant when I came here to visit and sat down in his office and talked to him for a little while. And then I didn't see Coach Bryant for several months, you know, until we came here like in June or July, I think it was. And I walked out on the practice field, and Coach Bryant was out there for some reason. We weren't in practice or anything, but I walked out on the practice field, and he walked at me from a distance and said, "Hello, Raymond," you know, and that kind of floored me, because it had been months since I'd seen him. There's been all kind of players that sit down in his office and talk with him, you know, but for him to remember my name really impressed me. I think more than anything else, with all due respect, not because it's the University of Alabama, but because Coach Bryant and his staff gave me an opportunity that no one else was going to, and I have such a great appreciation for that. I have a great appreciation and love for Coach Bryant because of a lot of the things that he did for me over the years, not just when I was in school, but afterwards, and that all reflects, to me, that's all part of wearing the crimson jersey. And we had it's just such a great tradition that being a part of winning, and not just winning SEC championship, national championships, but I look back on that with a great deal of pride. Being the coach at Alabama, or following Coach Bryant at Alabama, had been in the back of my mind for some time. And I remember when I first went to New York, and I gave the press a little outing at my house, and we were on the back deck, and one of the writers, Dave Klein from the New York Star-Ledger, was a sports editor, and Dave asked me on my back porch during this function. He said, "Ray," says, "what if when Coach Bryant steps down, Alabama comes calling?" And I said, without hesitation, you know, I said, "Well, I'd walk to Tuscaloosa," you know, and I said, "That's just something I've thought about for some time." And 4 years later, you know, here it comes happening. I just considered it really a great honor and privilege to follow Coach Bryant. Well, the Tennessee rivalry was really, I always thought that was Coach Bryant's rivalry. And that's how that got to be a rivalry. I never figured out why, but he always thought that was a really, really big game. And it was, and it is. And but the Tennessee rivalry is a genuine thing. The Auburn rivalry is a natural. I always thought the Auburn rivalry was a natural thing for the state of Alabama because you probably got 85% of the people in the state of Alabama that's going to be rooting for one or the other. And I always thought it was the greatest game when it was played in Birmingham, where you could see the colors of Alabama on one side of the field and the colors of Auburn on the other. And I thought it was a true Iron Bowl when it was played there. And I always liked that. And I used to think it was the greatest game in the entire country because of that. And but the Auburn game is, I know I never experienced it playing because we never lost to them. But we did lose to them twice and won 2 of them when I was coaching. But it's not a good feeling, you know, going around the state recruiting after you lose to Auburn. You know, it's a big downer, and equally so, or more so probably, when you win the game. I mean, everything is up. You know, I mean, it affects you. I mean, it definitely affects you one way or the other, whether you win or lose that game. I kind of got the feeling that that was also our home field, you know, not just Bryant-Denny Stadium, but Legion Field as well. And later on, as a coach and athletic director here, I always thought that it would be of great benefit for us to play at least 2 or 3 games there a year. And I'm not sure I still don't. You know, I know certain things have happened to create the situation that it is now, and I respect that. But it's kind of a shame to me that we can't still play at least 2 games or 3 games a year of our home games in Birmingham. You know, because I think you've got such great support in Birmingham, and Coach Bryant shared that feeling. He shared that with me very early when I was here, and but I always felt like it was a home game, and I think that's what, and I think that's probably, and I would too if I was a Tennessee or Auburn or you know, LSU coming to Birmingham to play Alabama. I think I would think if I was them that, hey, we're playing Alabama on their home turf, you know.